Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's having a restful and peaceful holiday season. I have been spending a great deal of my somewhat short break from my normal day-to-day working on a few watches to bring the ones that I've had on the back burner for a number of months onto my bench so I can get them onto my site so that people could possibly purchase them if they're interested. One of those watches is the watch that sort of got me interested in Seiko chronographs to begin with. I always saw it as a watch that I would aspire to one day own, that I was always nervous about. I was always thinking about whether or not the ones that I saw online were real or fake or what was the right components, and I took some risks. Found a few that I thought were quite good, and I have sort of stashed those away and started to bring them out slowly into the world to share with you. And one of the things that I've tried to do is provide you with watches that are correct and original, and I try and stand by that as much as possible. And where I know the history, I quote it, and where I don't know the history, I don't. But certain watches, that I sell are, comprised of components, and certain watches are not. And there are many that I know the originality of, and many that I don't. This one came to me as simply just the head of the watch, so only the case and the movement, etc. So I had to find a bracelet. So this one does, in full disclosure, have a aftermarket Seiko branded bracelet, but it is a very good reproduction, very very true to the original. So there's an original, and it does suit the watch quite well. They look great together. And they're actually a much nicer bracelet in terms of stretching and quality than the originals, even though they're not from Seiko. But the rest of the watch itself is quite original. It is very original to itself. None of the parts and pieces have been swapped out or moved around or anything like that. It is original unto itself, as we like to say. The one thing that has been replaced, of course, is the crystal. The crown pusher seals are new. They're Seiko materials, and the case back, of course, the seal is a new component as well. That's part of service. Everything else is as it came from Seiko in, March of 1974. So this is a straight back 6138 8020, also known as the Panda. I have serviced this watch. It is working perfectly as far as I can, determine from my service and evaluation. It's been regulated, it's been lubricated, it's been totally disassembled and put back together, as you've seen in many of my videos. And it is a great watch. It retains all of its beauty in the dial. There are no real known imperfections in the dial. I can guarantee that is a 100% original linened 6138 Panda dial. It's the reproductions are getting pretty good, but this one has all the hallmarks of the original, and it is original. It is stamped on the back and perfect. The hands, the loom, all of the materials that do show wear have some minor wear, maybe just some fading. You can see the tip has gone to a little bit of an orange. It's an English-Spanish day wheel. Let's see, I've got this thing in a focus state here. There we go. So there we go. We can go through the days of the week. There we go. And, everything works exactly as it should. Chronograph does its thing. The dimensions of the watch, I have misquoted on my site actually, so I'm going to bring in my caliper here and show you exactly what the size of this watch is from side to side. I had it that it was 51, but it turns out that's not exactly the number. It's 46. .46 millimeters from lug to lug. It is a 19 millimeter spacing. They're about 13-14 millimeters thick due to the chronograph, and about 40 from crown to edge. Don't want to scratch the case here. 42 to the crown. Anyway, everything is original to the watch. The dial is a really nice, beautiful Panda linen dial. It's a really great watch. I'm going to reset the hand here. So my recommendation is always, and I'm just going to stick to my recommendation, is that when you are running the chronograph, running is fine. Starting, stopping at any place is completely fine. With these chronograph wheels, they are fragile. I have an entire box full of dead chronograph wheels that come from people resetting and you know, using their chronograph, of course, but for preservation, because these watches are valuable, because they are hard to get, because you have to disassemble existing movement, which means disassembling an existing watch, I always reset the chronograph as close to midnight as possible. And that way, the amount of torque that's applied to that center wheel through the reset hammer onto the heart of that center wheel is minimized. And that will go a long way to preserving this watch for its lifetime. So keep that in mind. All right, well, if you're interested in a 6138 Panda, please have a look at my site. There's a link in the description below to this watch. There are plenty of other watches listed right now. I'm sort of in that state of actually catching up on a few things, so please be sure to go have a look. All right, thanks for watching.